Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I know, right? Uh, I think that
You're supposed to say,
um,
welcome,
our
everybody.
introduction should be who we are, but I think most of the people already know who we are because they'd be watching, unless it's just randomized. Um, but my name is David Adkins. I'm an author, actor, camera, audio, voice actor, entertainer, so much more. Holy cow, artist.
And novel writer, read his books.
Yeah, I know, right?
And please ignore my cat in the corner. She just wants my attention.
Oh, yeah, of course. But yeah, we've got um a new podcast where we discuss uh, a lot of interesting subject matter. Um
Feeding Frenzy is
what
the name.
right. And I think it's interesting that we're going to be discussing things that a lot of other podcasters have went over, but we're going over it a different way. We're doing counter arguments. And the way this works is that when we're talking about anything popular or anything other um, YouTubers or news agencies or social media has been talking about, we bring up the critical thinking aspect. So, like, currently, one of the biggest things happening right now is the argument over AI. Um, you have enough experience with people that complain about it on your side, Jordan. So, what are they saying on your side?
Well, first off, my name is Jordan Consalvi, and I am an actor in my nation, and I meant state, not nation. Also award winning, by the way. Look me up if you want to. And I do like wire art and acting, and currently do a lot of writing and currently in development for a project. Can't say any more than that.
Mhm.
And to answer your question, well, some of which I can't say on here because YouTube will probably ban us if I say what people are really saying, the negative stuff.
Well, yeah, but a lot of it is negative, but it's generic negative.
Yeah.
Um,
Like most commonly, there were the one to replace hardworking humans versus digital thing that's lazy and screws up from a human that can correct it. I
oh man, that might as well be McDonald's cash registers. I'm sorry, but it's true. Check yourself out while missing pennies. Go figure. But everybody's using a card anyway. Oh, geez. Physical money is so gone.
nearly non-existent.
Oh, it really is. It's so weird. Um, that means you can easily lose your money without realizing it just because, something happens digitally. And because of that, yeah, there's some security measures in place, but it goes back to the AI system because anything a human is not doing itself is considered AI. Um, it's everything from a stopwatch to stoves, refrigerators, HVAC thermostat systems, security for your home, uh, you know, a doorbell that records people, whether it's the ring or otherwise. That's a whole different argument altogether. Um,
It's the
Especially with the
future.
new Super Bowl backlash, whatever you want to call it. It's so weird. Um, I
This
asked my wife because she's totally anti um AI as well, and I was like, "Well, which AI are you talking about? You want to be against?" And she didn't know what I was talking about, and I was like, "Easy. There's tons of AI. There's the AI for your video games, so stop playing video games if you're against AI. You can't have any type of, you know, computer because the entire computer is an AI. It just is. Every single search bar and this, that, and the other, that's all AI systems. No physical person is actually guiding you and listing all these different websites based off of your search engine. They don't do it. And even on a web page, that's still AI. Autocorrect. Again, one of the big AIs everybody hates.
Well, technically that wasn't AI until lately, but
Yeah, it is. It ain't a person autocorrecting it. Not unless you're in school and your teacher does it, but that's a whole different thing. But yeah, in all seriousness, there's too much AI. There, you complain. Most people complaining about how it's stealing stuff. Well, the problem comes with the fact of which AI are you going to make a law against? Then you're going to have to worry about the law itself not superseding, overreaching, and so much more because people take advantage. If people find a crack, they're going to use it. That's just it. It doesn't matter what type of crack in any system, they're going to use it. So hackers have been around since the very beginning of the internet age. And I do mean the very beginning. Um, when I was studying coding back before browsers even existed, um, I literally found out that one computer could talk to another. This is back in 1983. And when I found out that I could connect my computer, which was a black and yellow computer that you put a tape in and you do your own coding. So there was no search engine, there was no anything like that. You had to manually do every piece of coding yourself. And I found out that I could play video games and all this other stuff. And then some of it in the line of coding when we started doing the whole college thing, because I went to college before ever finishing high school. Um, I went and started studying on the whole C++ and everything from Python beginning level to C, C++, DOS, the whole freaking 9 yards. We went through everything. And from there, I found out that I could get my computer to talk to somebody else. And this was back whenever text boards were big. And I was like, oh, okay. So no more secrets. People didn't know what I meant. And I was like, easy. People will put stuff on whatever system or computer you want to put it, and they'll think they're safe. And it's a false sense of security because if yet somebody finds a way to break into a house, they're going to find a way to break into your computer.
that's
That's just the way it is.
that's Skynet for you.
Well, yes and no. I mean, it was foretelling. Terminator was seriously, a lot of people don't remember this, but it was late 70s, early 80s. And oh man, the backlash and talk against computers was big. Like it was a dangerous situation, and you're trying to create artificial life. And oh, geez, the amount of hatred is about as much as it is for AI now. And I'm sitting here all the time going, well, that talk died down a lot. Well, the thing about it is it's still around. There are some steadfast anti-technology types that they just don't agree with technology. They want to go back to like the Renaissance age,
Uh,
technically an age before electricity. That's what
well,
they want.
the best way people like that can do that is move into the country, Amish country.
Right, but they don't want the religion.
I know. And to
That's
those of you
where
wondering, I do stutter sometimes, so bear with me.
Well, remember, we're going to what's been selling recently is minimalist thinking and
Yeah.
living. Okay. That's very, very as close as you're going to get to daggum freaking what we're talking about. I lived in a campground for 2 years. And in most of that time, I was in a tent, not a electric camper, not in one of the, I was in a tent. So I was literally waking up each day, going out fishing for my daggum freaking breakfast. And then from there, I spent most of the rest of the day doing what I wanted to until it was time for dinner. And if I got leftovers from breakfast, I would daggum eat it for dinner. Um, the most of it that I can remember was, for me, it was fun. I was at an age and at a time in my life where I could do it. It was not very difficult. I didn't have as many health problems as most. Um, but I did have some. Um, for those that do not know, I am a juvenile diabetic. And so I did have a lot of issues because of bone density, diabetes, blood sugar issues, brittle. I was a brittle diabetic before they even coined the term. They
All
didn't
that
know what was causing it. They didn't know why I was the way I was, but then they found out that brittle diabetes is a thing. Go figure. Um, but anyway, when you look at the way I was living in a tent. I used battery type lights. I used gas for heating. And it was a grill. And from there, that was it. That's all I needed. If I wanted to cool off, okay, fine. We had the daggum lake and the swimming pool. That's just the way it was. You didn't stay indoors. Now people stay indoors. Not only do they stay indoors while working, they stay indoors even after work.
since the great
So,
pandemic of 2020.
no, actually, even before then, you got to remember, I'm from a age of gamers. Okay, it started with Atari, went to Dreamcast and Sony. From that, went to Nintendo. From Nintendo to Sega. From Sega, the list goes on and on and on.
We're
Okay.
gamer brothers.
I started with Pong. And then I decided to evolve into PlayStation from place. Well, my first one was Atari, the very first one, after PC, but I've always been a PC gamer. Just it's always been that way. I've had disc after disc after disc of the beginning ones where they had to use actors instead of actually computer graphics. And those were some of the most entertaining games I can ever remember. Had multiple endings to each story and all the sort of stuff. But in the same instance, the talk was always AI. They wanted to do something. It's not about inventing life. It was more about, I want something to do this for me. So, in that avenue of thinking, Japan is way, way, way beyond us. They've got robotic delivering services. They've got robots working as waitresses. They've got sex bots. They've got all this other stuff. I mean, everything is a bot.
Sex box, you say.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on that one. Uh, they want, I mean, you got to think the population is decreasing left and right. We are not the only country that requires, a above minimum wage to survive. And me and my wife did an examination. You cannot work a normal job and survive on one income. So a single individual would be shackled to their house or apartment because otherwise they just won't make enough. You need more than, I'd say, altogether, you're talking about repairing your car, and heaven forbid you got car payments. Then you've got the mortgage, your electric bill, your daggum freaking water bill, the maintenance on if you've got maintenance for a house, your life, and everything within the four walls to maintain. And by the time you do all that, you're looking at close to 60,000 a year for a single individual. And heaven forbid you're talking about two people. And no single job will get you that amount of money without a college degree or some sort of excelled, you know, skill that you can market. Doesn't matter. Well, you got to think late 80s, they literally said in the late 80s that it would take a two income family with a single side job to survive. And that was late 80s. We're in the 2000s right now.
Well, I was born in the 90s, so that's a whole other world for me in the 80s.
Well, not just that, but you got to think you grew up with no parents in the house because technically they were all working. When they got home, they didn't even have the energy to cook. So, cooking, cleaning, regular maintenance, the mother of that era was gone. So now it was up to the kids to keep the house clean because the parents had to work. And that got rid of a lot of people's childhood. And in all of that, we're talking about AI because you got AI vacuum cleaners now, you got AI microwaves, AI refrigerators, AI stoves. It all does it for you. All you need is the daggum materials. Bread makers, rice makers, this, that, and the other. You can just literally plug them all up, daggum, insert your stuff, and just walk away. Slow cookers, yeah, my wife uses them. All you do is put the stuff in there, walk away. Cooks for 8 hours, you're done.
Speaking of 8 hours, it's been 20 minutes. You want me to talk?
I mean, what is your argument at that point when it comes to AI? Because we've been using it for over 30 years now, plus.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see.
So, what do you ban?
Well, let me start with some. Well, I have like good and bad stuff from it. Like for me, many of you know is that I just like to play around with AI. That's my number one reason. I just like to play around with it and make some creative stuff around it, and that's it. I don't want to make a career on using it. But as for using it to, but as for using it to make projects, well, I only use it when needed. Like if I have a mental, if I have a writer's block, or just want to make art illustrations to help write the story, that's what I'll use it for. But I very rarely use that. I just mostly like to play around with it or fool around with it when I'm feeling creative. And the
Use
bad,
it for inspiration.
that's what I basically just said. And as for the bad stuff, well, to those of you who either use it or are familiar with it, I think you'll imagine with a lot of bad stuff from not only getting things wrong, the glitches, and how certain industries are wanting to replace people with that. That part I don't agree with. I mean, there's a way of balancing both the human and AI element. I mean, like me, for example, I only use it when needed. If I have the human element, I'll use more of that instead of AI.
Right.
I
But there's
mean,
still a lot of industries right now that easily people can get into. But the problem is they don't want to work it. One of the biggest lacking daggum jobs out there is uh, the insect and pest control guys because Orkin Tex, oh, what's that one? I just used it not too long ago, but almost every exterminator out there, Terminex, that's what I was trying to think of. Terminex, Orkin, all these independent companies, they're all lacking people because nobody wants to work the job. And so the whole idea of no jobs being out there is false. But most people wouldn't think about that type of job. They wouldn't even, okay, like my agent. All right. I've kept her in business, jeez, way so long because she was an agent. She didn't think that she could continue doing it, so I counseled her to actually keep going. Well, now she's actually making decent money, but she's also got it. She uses the company as a part time. And now she's actually working for the government where she lives because she got voted in. And from getting voted in, now she's got that and her side job to actually make ends meet. And she's doing a really good job of it. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that AI will never do. Auto mechanic won't never. AI helps in certain aspects with the new computerization aspects of cars and trucks, but that's about it. When it comes to surgery, when it comes to doctors and pharmacists and that sort, it helps, but it can't replace a human.
Yeah.
It can't.
In fact, as of recently, the most use I've seen most writers and filmmakers use it for like early marketing. I don't want to say any names, but
Right. Yeah.
basically you just generate some artwork or just a teaser like video trailer just to market their idea, and that's
Right.
just it. After they get more funding and more work, they make a real trailer and real artwork for it. They just mainly use it for a form of early marketing, which I have to give credit. It's a smart idea. Just use it as a marketive idea that you're wanting to make. You
Hmm.
just need more resources and more help to do that, non-AI related.
Well, you're also talking about somebody who went to school for graphic design, film, and all this other stuff. And we got trained in everything from 3D um, graphics to daggum freaking photo manipulation, film manipulation, and everything else. That's all AI, every bit of it. So now that etches into movie making. So do you want to get rid of televisions and movies because of AI? You want to make a ban on certain type of AI that's going to also incorporate them?
Does that mean
Because
you're
trust me when I say that a lot of movie makers, directors, producers, music makers, musicians, and everyone has been sued all the way since the 50s because it sounds too much like my song. And thing about it is only very few actually, unless you want to talk about Milli Vanilli, which we're not going into. But
we could talk about
but
this. Are you AI?
yeah, I know, right? But there's the issue, and it's a big one. If we're going to be honest, AI helped generate Pirates of the Caribbean. I know we studied it. Um, I was going to college when that literally came out, and I went through the movie just dissecting it. What programs they used, what they did, how which ones were green screen, which ones were slow motion animatronics, all the stuff, every bit of it.
That's what I got, a
Um,
green screen.
yeah. Now, before that, if you really want to talk old school, let's talk Jurassic Park, the first one.
One of the
Some of
best.
it was AI, some of it wasn't. Good luck trying to choose which is which.
I still like it. It's the best dinosaur movie ever, the first one.
I have
And
to agree to a point, but only to a point. I really
and
love the Godzillas, the daggum freaking Mothra movies, the daggum freaking Gahedra movies. From Gahedra, you've got the old King Kongs. From the King Kongs, you've got the oh, what was it? There was one other one. I can't remember the name of it, but all of those giant monster movies was great. Then you have like Ultraman, the very beginning, that came out in the 70s. Um,
I was a kid when they rerun that on Saturday mornings, but
oh, the remake was horrible. Jeez. That was,
actually I
oh,
I don't think that was the remake. It was one of the English dub versions, and yeah, the dubbing was not that good because it was on 4Kids. And Four
yeah,
Kids
it
was
was bad.
known, and 4Kids, as many of you know, was known to censor good anime as well as misdub it. And
Yep.
I'm not gonna say anymore. Don't bring up the Dragon Ball Z
Oh yeah,
censorship.
no, we're not talking about that. Oh, before that, you got to remember there was a lot before that when it came to American censorship. Speed Racer, Daggum Astro Boy. Do we want to keep going?
Do not read the manga.
Spaceship Yamato.
Never saw that.
Oh, you missed a really good Voltron. Everybody thought it was American made too, which was really bad. I was
Uh,
like, no, it was Go Lions, and it was a Japanese film.
let's say which Voltron, the original or the sequel
The
Voltron?
original, the
Oh,
very original, where it was a Japanese Go Lion series.
hmm. I
And
do
the
remember
second
seeing it.
series
I just
came
never
out when that
finished
one
it.
came.
Yeah,
No,
we
they finished it.
no, I never finished it. I was a kid.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad. It literally got to where one of them got so injured to where he had to retire and was replaced by the princess.
Hmm.
That was amazing. After that change up, I don't know if it was from the fans that just didn't like that character because I know I didn't. He was a loose cannon, and he was supposed to bring a little bit of balance to the main character, who was the Red Lion, but instead it became a conflict, and that just really threw fans off. So when it came to the princess literally filled in a major gap, and that was the start of the Sentai series. And from the Sentais, now you got the Power Rangers. From the Power Rangers, all this other stuff that came out. So yeah, the five was always the five. Didn't matter if it was Captain Planet. Didn't matter if it was Dagum Voltron or Dagum um, Power Rangers or even Scooby Doo was five. Come on, it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, and all of it, if you notice, five is the magic number. And you've got the two that are technically comedy. You've got the main character. It didn't matter if it was Fred or daggum freaking Red Lion or whatever. Um, but yeah, you got the main, they got the two comedy guys, and then the two that are fill-ins. They're the ones that balance out everybody else.
You just referenced my entire childhood.
Part of mine as well. We're not going to go into it. But okay, here's a really recent one. All right. How
Uh-oh.
does Dragon Ball Z end up with the five?
No, it depends. You mean the original or
The
Kai?
original. The original five.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Japanese version, not the English dub version.
Of course.
And yeah, the big five do fit in that category.
They do. Because you have Goku, you have Vegeta, you have Krillin, you've got uh Master Roshi, and then you got
Piccolo.
oh I could yeah, no, it wasn't Piccolo, it was the moon guy. Trying to think of his name. Because remember, at the very first one, Piccolo was an enemy.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, back when Goku was a daggum freaking kid.
Oh, and Dragon Ball.
Yeah, the original Dragon Ball. You got those
Uh,
five. Then you go to Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z.
well,
Then you get daggum freaking Vegeta, Goku. You get Piccolo, Krillin, and then either the last one seemed to rotate a lot. It
yeah.
was either Chi Chi, Bulma. It just depended
Well,
on the episode.
we'll leave it up to the fans. Comment down below on who it was because we can't remember.
No, I didn't watch all of Z anyway.
I
Um,
don't remember. And we
especially the Android arc. Yeah, I couldn't stand it.
first off, watch the Japanese version. It's much better, and we've got 9 minutes left. Anything else you want to talk about?
Um, no, I really can't. I mean, you got to think. I was there for the whole argument of computers before AI, and unfortunately, but even before computers, there was AI. There's anything that's considered where humans don't interact and do it themselves. That's AI. Because of the fact being it didn't matter if it was a stopwatch, didn't matter if it was, one of those really old washing machines or one of those really old refrigerators, um, I sort of miss those days because the things lasted. A refrigerator from back then was known to last over 30 years. Now they can't make one to last 10. And I think when you get too competitive and you're so busy making something that will not last, so you get more buyers, there's the problem. Cars don't last 10 years. They can't even outlast their daggum freaking payment warranties. They really can't. And unfortunately, if you look at the old classics, they're still running. You know, you still have to do maintenance on them. But in all seriousness, yeah, there's the catch. It's a stupid catch, to be honest, but people, it's like the light bulb. Edison made a bulb that actually lasted. And unfortunately, if you only bought one light bulb and it lasted you forever, where's the profit? And a lot of people complain about that. Well, the same is true for drugs. If you find a drug that can actually cure everything, then where's your redistribution of funds? It's like, trying to find a cure for cancer when you've got so many organizations and so many daggum people that are making money off of cancer research, cancer debates, and all of this other stuff. You know, you would kill a major amount of distribution company and daggum jobs just getting rid of cancer alone, much less diabetes. Diabetes is even worse because diabetes is one of those areas that it just expands constantly. Um, and I know it sounds weird, but it isn't. It's actually pretty common. Government expands because of the fact being it used to be that you wouldn't have this many people involved in the government. You had the president, you had the senators and Republicans and all, representatives and all this sort of stuff. But in the same instance, even though you had all of that, you had, no government workers per se. It was only later that the IRS came about, the FBI, the daggum freaking sheriff versus the cops versus the special investigation units, all of this stuff, you know, they just expanded. And in expansion, it may be needed, but in all seriousness,
And we're
um,
approaching the 5 minute mark, just let you know.
but in all of that expansion, there was a lot of naysayers as well back then too. Why does government have to be so big? I heard that, jeez, as far as I can remember. My dad was majorly against the seatbelt law. Now everybody does it without a second thought. And yet back then it was an argument for freedoms, being able to do what you want to with your own vehicle, taking your life into your own hands. And I still believe that we are easily giving up our freedoms in favor of daggum just being right. And that's not being right. And because being moral, ethical, and correct is all a point of being. It's there is no universal. There really isn't. The only universal of anything of that nature is the Bible. That's it in my book. A lot of people have different thoughts about that, but in all actuality, common sense wise, the Bible makes sense because they literally said the entire society was supposed to stone people for judgment. That way, you don't know which one killed um, the criminal. So later in like the Wild West, the person that used to be the hangman was notorious, and a lot of people wanted revenge on him. Same thing in the medieval times when you had the executioner wearing a hood over his head because of the fact being he did not want to be recognized.
And we'll have to continue this in another video. We're running low on time. And I apologize to
I
everyone.
know,
He likes
right?
to talk. And I apologize to everyone. He likes to talk a lot. But it's what
But
we
in
do.
you
And
know,
any closing thoughts?
I just think that the argument is pointless. Um, AI, if you want to be against AI, go right ahead. But in all technicality, it's advancement, number one. Number two is intent. What is the intention? To better society or to better oneself? And if you can narrow it down to that, well, you still wouldn't be able to narrow it down because in all common sense knowledge, AI is used too rampantly across the board. So, which AI are you going to actually ban and how?
We'll
And
leave
how are
it.
you going to mandate it? You
We'll leave
can't.
it. And we'll leave it to all of you to figure that out and let us know your answers in the comments. And if you want to see more of us talking about random dumb stuff or seeing us talk like idiots, subscribe and
Oh,
like and share
we'll
for more.
never discuss the halftime show. Trust me. You
That's
can
for
say all
another
you want to.
video.
We're
That's
not
for
even
another
going.
video.
No, it's not. We're never going to talk
Make him
about that.
make him talk about it. Make him talk about it.
No, I refuse. Oh, no, that's just bad all the way around. Made me want to stop watching football. Good cow.
This is
Oh,
this is feeding frenzy, everyone. Subscribe, like,
oh,
and share for
jeez.
more
No, no.
and
Let's talk
stay.
video games. How about that? That would be fun.
Yeah, we can do that in the
Oh,
next video. Anyways, do everything I just said. I don't want to repeat myself, and stay tuned for more stuff and more celebrities that'll be on our channel.
yep. Have a good one, guys.
Till next time, everyone.